Hello, I'm Richa and today we talk about GMAT. So, why is GMAT important and why is GMAT relevant if you're planning for an MBA program, and what are the steps that you can take if you have a GMAT exam coming up in the next few weeks or the next few months. So, as an introduction, I'm Richa and I graduated from ISB Indian School of Business last year. I'm a class of 19 alum and I took the GMAT a couple of years back, but I still feel the things that I prepared for a couple of years back still hold true and can help you if you have a GMAT exam coming up in the next few weeks or the next few months. So, okay, let's get started. So, firstly, we'll talk about the structure of the GMAT exam. So, basically, a GMAT exam has four sections. There's quant, there's verbal, there's IR, integrated reasoning, and there's AWA, which is analytical writing ability. Now, IR and AWA will not contribute to your eventual score, but it's still important for you to have a fair idea of what these sections are going to be about. So we'll talk about quant first. I am a non-engineer. I did not study engineering. I studied economics honors from DU, and I wasn't exceptionally insanely strong in quant, but I was fairly okay in quant. So I knew that I could manage it. I wasn't scared of numbers. And why is a quant section relevant from a GMAT point of view? So GMAT is not a test of how academically smart you are, of how intelligently you can cram up things. It's a test which eventually wants to see where you are in terms of managerial skills and what skills are needed to become a good manager. And this is what I've observed in my role after ISB, and this I think will be things that you will be using a lot in your role after you do your MBA program. So firstly, quantitative skills. So every manager needs to have some sound data skills in place. I was always scared of data. I wasn't too comfortable with it. I did not love numbers when I was growing up. So I'm in the central marketing team in a financial services company, and what I realized in my last 1 year of working after my MBA program is that data is going to be the decider of everything you're going to do in life. Be it consulting, be it marketing, be it sales, or be it financial services, it's all about data. So you are going to be using a lot of data in your everyday life after you finish your MBA program. In marketing, you could be using it for, creating the right kind of offer, using the right kind of channel, what kind of people to target, what kind of marketing mix to have. So all of these things will require a lot of data skills, and which is why GMAT has quant as a section, because it wants to see whether you can handle data in the right way, whether you can produce some insights from data, whether you think that the data is enough to make a certain conclusion or to start out with a certain assumption. So which is why quant is important. So then the next section is verbal, basically, which has three sections, and they are RC and sentence correction and critical reasoning. Now RC is going to be a difficult area for some people, and I have come across a lot of my engineer friends talk about how they struggled with RC, how they struggled with verbal, but I think that was a section that I absolutely loved. I loved RC, I loved sentence correction, I loved CR. So basically verbal was my overall strength, and I knew that I had to leverage that strength for all the MBA exams that I took. So I took CAT, XAT and GMAT, and I knew that if I was fairly okay in quant, I could still take my score a little higher, by just using this area that I was strong in. I had a lot of engineer friends who were really comfortable with quant, who were really good with quant. So they decided to approach it in a way that you meet the cutoff. This is for CAT, that you meet the cutoff in a certain section, but you perform really, really well in the other section. So for me, that was verbal. And how did I get so comfortable with verbal? Well, it did not come, instantly for me. It did not come inherently to me. I started reading a lot of books when I knew that I was going to be preparing for GMAT, but that will come later as to what I prepared. I'll just talk about the sections right now. So yes, verbal. Why is verbal important, and why does GMAT have a section of verbal? Well, in your coursework, in your MBA program, and even after your MBA program, in your role, you'll have to read a lot of material. You'll be reading a lot of cases. You'll be reading a lot of books. You'll be reading a lot of articles with respect to the role. If you're in a role after your MBA program, you'll just be reading so much about what's happening in the industry, these reports about how the competition is performing, how your company is performing. So there'll just be a lot of reading to do when you'll be in an MBA program and after an MBA program. And I think reading and writing as an ability will come in very, very handy to you if you want to really stand out in your role after your MBA program. So how you write an email, how you draft a certain report, how you present a certain report, how you talk about a certain report when you're presenting in front of stakeholders, I think reading and writing come very handy as skills. So which is why GMAT has that as a section, because it wants to see whether you're able to grasp things, whether you're able to read things faster, because there'll just be so much to read. Are you able to derive the relevant insights? Are you able to derive the right conclusion? So that's what a GMAT test is about. Quant, verbal, IR and EWA, and verbal and quant contribute to your score. So it's very important for you to start focusing on these sections right from the beginning. And it depends what is the timeline that you're looking at for preparing for GMAT. So some people take 3 months, some people want to take 30 days, some people want to take, 6 months. So I prepared for GMAT for 45 days. So I knew that I was going to take GMAT in 45 days because my deadline for applying to schools, international schools and Indian schools, was approaching. So I knew that I had that deadline. I did not have leeway about it. So I did not want to postpone it any further. So I booked my test, and you can either start out by booking your test in advance. Some people say that it helps you prepare, it helps you be disciplined about your focus, it helps you be disciplined about your preparation, and it did come in handy for me. So you can either choose to book a GMAT test now or book a GMAT test later when you feel that you are kind of prepared for it and you kind of are in a position where you won't freak out at the thought of taking a GMAT in the next few days. But again, I have seen, so last year I mentored a few students and I saw that they did procrastinate taking their GMAT and they did not take the right date because they kept delaying the schedule. I would recommend that you book a test date in advance, at least 30 days in advance, so you know that the deadline is ticking, the clock is ticking, and that pushes you to work a lot harder for your prep. And so I had 45 days to myself, and I decided to start out by really understanding what the test is about. So I looked up in the first 3-4 days, I just looked up what the test is about, what are the sections. I went on to GMAT Club. It's a very, very helpful resource for not just understanding the test but also for using it to take free tests. There are a lot of free online tests on GMAT Club. You can also use GMAT Club to take few practice tests here and there dedicated to certain sections. There'll be some practice tests dedicated to just permutation combinations, just sentence correction, just RCs. So I found that helpful, and then I also went on to the GMAT official website where I found out that there's a diagnostic test available, and people start out by taking the diagnostic test early on, but I would not recommend taking a test, the diagnostic test right away unless and until you know what the structure of the test is about, you know what the process is going to be like, you know what sections are going to be there. So study those sections, prepare a few questions, practice a few questions for a few days and then take the diagnostic test. Because what if you perform really badly on that and you have lost your confidence in the very first go? You wouldn't want to take the GMAT test later on. So don't take the diagnostic test right away, prepare for a few days and then take that test to see where you really are, what your strengths are, what are the areas that you need to work upon. Okay, so then we talk about the resources that you can use to prepare for GMAT, and number one resource is official guide. There is no two way about it. If you have gone through the official guide, if you're looking for that one-stop solution for preparation for GMAT, I think it's the OG. So GMAT has an official guide which has all the sections, and then it has these two separate guides for verbal and quant. So I bought the official guide and I also bought these two other guides for verbal and quant because I did have some time at my hands and I wanted to practice more. and I wasn't too comfortable. Like I said, I wasn't insanely comfortable with numbers at that point of time, so I bought quant. And I wasn't too insanely good with verbal also at that point of time, so I bought a verbal guide also. So as far as quant is concerned, I just use the OG for practicing quant and the OG for quant, the other separate book. For verbal, because I knew that I wanted to make verbal my strong area, I started reading a lot, and I think that was the time when I got introduced to the world of reading heavy books. So I read 6 books in a month. I remember in those 30 days I finished almost 6 books. I read Fountainhead, Atlas Shrugged, Kafka on the Shore, and 2-3 smaller books. So I knew that reading as an ability was something that I wanted to harness more. I wanted to refine it more because it was an area that I was comfortable with, and I wanted to make that area strong. And I will leave a link in the section below where you can test what your reading speed is like. 300 is a good reading speed. If you're at let's say 200, 220, you can look at how to increase your reading speed faster. My reading speed around that time was around 400, 420, so that was good. And yeah, so you can test your reading speed from the link in the description below. So yes, so GMAT is about these 4 sections. How do you approach these sections? How do you identify which strength? How do you identify what is your area of strength while you practice those questions a lot from the OG? And how do you really practice questions from the OG also? How do you practice questions from GMAT Club or these free online tools that you have? Make sure that you take timed tests. If you're going to sit at a CAT or a ZAT or a GMAT, there's always going to be a time pressure, and these tests do not evaluate how well you can solve every question, but how many questions you can solve with what accuracy in a limited span of time. So make sure that you take timed test. So I used to sit and I had a paper and a pen. I just mark 1 to 20 on that piece of paper. I would set up half an hour, a timer with half an hour, and just solve those 20 questions from the OG in that half an hour. Then another important thing is not just getting your questions accurate, but also making sure that you understand how GMAT is approaching those questions. So when you've taken let's say a test, or when you've sat for half an hour and you have solved those 20 questions, check what your score is in those 20 questions. And if your score is 100%, even if it's 100%, even if it's 95%, still go back to the explanations, still go back to seeing what the rationale is that the GMAT book has given. So it's not just about getting questions right, it's also about how do you get those questions right, the approach that you took. What is the approach that GMAT book took? So you can derive some really useful information from those explanations, even for questions that you did get right. So read all the explanations, do not skip the ones for which your answer was correct. Read all the explanations for all the questions. And then the last thing that I did was don't get too obsessed about accuracy in the beginning. In the beginning, you're just starting out, especially if you're a working professional, you haven't been studying regularly for a long time. It's going to take you time to just really understand things. It's going to take you time to get into the framework of solving questions. So it's fine if you don't get everything right in the first place. So I think if I just could have one recommendation, I would say that don't take it as a test which is going to be the definer of a lot of things. Of course, it will be very useful if you score well on a GMAT, but if you're trying to start out with the preparation for GMAT, don't base it on how many right answers you get. So of course, you're dedicating some time of your life to preparing for GMAT, but you're also dedicating some time of your life to learn something. So if nothing else, just derive something useful out of that preparation for 30 days or 45 days. In the first 1 week, first 10 days, just try to learn as much as you can. Just try to see what areas you like, what areas you don't like, what are you comfortable with, what are you not comfortable with, what things are your strengths and what things are the prominent areas of weakness. Just dedicate some time to identifying, so that you can start working on those things accordingly. Yeah, lastly, I think just 4 essential messages that I want to leave you with. Start reading a lot, irrespective of whether your quant or your verbal is strong or not, because reading and writing are going to be very, very handy in the future, because there's going to be loads and loads of cases, loads and loads of material if you go into an MBA program. So yeah, just focus on those areas for now. That'll help you in the long term as well. Take timed tests, very, very important, because eventually it's all about solving as many questions as possible accurately in a defined time frame. Then do not bombard yourself with too much material. It's not going to be helpful. It's just going to leave you getting confused. So just focus on 2-3 books. There's Manhattan for Verbal, there's Kaplan for Verbal, there are these free tests on GMAT Club, there's official guide for Verbal and Quant, and of course the core official guide. Just focus on that and you will be home. Last thing, don't fret too much about how strong you are when you're just starting out. Take a diagnostic test, like I said, 15-20 days after you've prepared something, and take another test where you sit, where you simulate what the actual GMAT exam is going to be like, maybe a week or maybe 10 days before your final GMAT exam, and book a date. Do not procrastinate, do not delay that. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment below. I'll try addressing those questions, and all the best.